Well, I think it's safe to say that spring has finally sprung in Bloomington, and that means it's time to get that bicycle out of storage if you haven't already. But before hitting the trails or roads, I'm here at Penn Cycle in Bloomington to get a few tune-up tips to make your ride safe.
My name is Chris Golshrav. I'm currently the service manager at Penn Cycle in Bloomington. I've been with the company since October of last year. I've been in the industry for 20 years. And riding a bike for almost 30 years. Well, I think the more you understand about anything that you own, you're going to be able to appreciate it better, whether it's your cable TV tuner or your bike. There is a certain level of commitment that you should have. The bikes do not maintain themselves. Most people can do a lot of the basic maintenance. So one of the things that's going to happen as your bike sits in storage, it's going to lose a majority of air pressure. Just like a party balloon that you blow up and put on your mailbox, after a couple of days it's pruned and almost completely flat. The same thing is going on to the tube that's inside this tire. It's losing X amount of percentage of air a day, and over the course of days, weeks, now you're talking months in winter storage, it's basically lost all its air pressure. If anyone's ever got questions on what kind of tire pressure they should run, it's written on the side of the tire just like you'd find on an automobile. Here's a range right there where it's 80 to 125 psi. What happens is it sits all winter, you've got much less than that, maybe 20 psi. What happens when you receive an impact? The tire meets the rim, and where the rim extends upward towards the outside of the circumference, you're going to get an impact. Your tube's going to get two holes in it or one hole. Pinch flat, snake bite, it's the most popular way to get a flat tire. One of the things that's crucial when we're looking at a brake for anyone would be to make sure that the wheel is in straight, that it's in the center of the frame, and that when it spins, it's nice and straight. We call that the trueness of the wheel. We can also adjust that. We can fix that and alter how straight the wheel is. We want to make it as straight as possible. Once the wheel is straight, we want to make sure that we're getting even movement from both sides of the caliper, so that you don't ever want to see one side not moving and pinned against the rim, because that would then just drag on the rim and would make your progress even more difficult than it seems. Another thing we look at is the brake pad wear, whether you've got a nice caliper unit like this or whether you've got a disc brake system or another type of brake system, the pads are going to wear out at some point. This is a rubber pad on an aluminum brake surface. In the wintertime, there's so much sediment that you're wearing your pads extremely quickly, and you're also wearing your rim brake strip out here as well. There's actually wear indicators on this machine part that are showing you just how much wear and how much life you have left in your rim. The drivetrain is basically made up of the chain rings, the chain, the cogs in the back. This is a cassette on this bike. The rear derailleur, the front derailleur, all are worked by the shifters, and on this bike they are these fancy STI levers that are brake levers and shifters all in one. These are all items that can wear out. It's a moving, living, breathing thing. Chains will stretch, get out of tolerance, they then start to wear out. The teeth on the cassette, the chain rings, things like that. So items that are replaced frequently would be chains. You get, say, 2,000 miles to a chain on a road bike. You might get a little less wear or a little more wear out of, depending on how you ride and what your riding style is. So people need to understand that some things are going to be replaced over the course of time. The shift wires themselves, they're made out of stainless steel. It's something that, again, the weather, corrosion, not necessarily riding in the winter, but where you store your bike, whether it's a damp garage or a shed or even a basement, things are happening to your bike when it's not in use that you kind of need to keep tabs on.
Enjoy the ride from your friends at Penn Cycle in Bloomington.